started talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
We've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
For days, we've been tracking the politics around Ukraine, the meetings, the statements, the power play. It's been a dramatic, action-packed period. But in this time, there have been many developments on the battlefield too. And the outcomes on the talking table have a direct bearing on the front lines. Ukraine is clearly on the back foot. It is getting harder for them to keep fighting because the US is pulling back support. First, the Americans halted military aid, and now they have stopped sharing intelligence with Ukraine. Remember, it was the American support that kept Ukraine in the fight. Without them, Kiev's defenses could crumble. The Russians see an opening here, and they're moving fast to capitalize. Russia is stepping up attacks on Ukraine. Take a look at this. The Russians struck central Ukraine overnight. The attack killed 2 people. In the last few days, the fighting has escalated significantly. This week alone, Russia has launched more than 180 drones targeting multiple locations across Ukraine. Shelling is happening almost every day. Some of the targets are strategic in nature. Russia claims it has attacked Ukrainian airfields, an oil depot, drone production workshops, and other military assets of Kiev. These were spread out across 150 districts of Ukraine. It is not clear if these attacks caused major damage, but the scale shows intent. Russia is clearly trying to weaken Ukraine. It wants to expand its battlefield gains. Moscow's calculation is quite simple. Ukraine is losing American support, so this is the best time to take advantage. And this is not speculation, what we are saying here. It comes from the horse's mouth, from a man called Dmitry Medvedev, a close ally of Vladimir Putin and a former president of Russia. Medvedev held the seat for Putin between 2008 and 2012 when the constitution, the Russian constitution, did not allow Putin to hold a presidential office. That's how deeply trusted Dmitry Medvedev is. Now he serves on Russia's Security Council, and he laid out their battlefield priorities. The orders to Russian forces are simple: inflict maximum damage. That is the brief. Inflict maximum damage. Medvedev calls it their primary objective. It is a time-tested strategy. Russia wants to strike when Ukraine is weak and secure more ground before the peace talks. Russia also remains wary of the Americans. It believes that this pause in aid is temporary. It is not a full retreat, and Trump may have stepped back for a while now from Ukraine, but he can easily resume support, both the military aid and the intel. The thinking in Russia is this: they have, and I'm quoting again, they have a limited time frame to make gains on Ukraine. And Trump's team, in fact, is conveying similar messages.
Did the U.S. pause intelligence sharing with Ukraine, and is it still paused right now?
We have taken a step back and are pausing and reviewing all aspects of this relationship. But I just got off the phone before I walked out here with my counterpart, the Ukrainian National Security Advisor. We are having good talks on a location for the next round of negotiations, on delegations, on substance.
So it is a pause, not an end, not yet. They make it sound like it's temporary. But for Ukraine, it poses an existential crisis. If their defenses are weakened, if they're unable to defend against Russian attacks, the losses will go beyond the lives of Ukrainians. The loss of territory could be irreversible. And by the time the American support returns, Ukraine may not have much to defend. Since the beginning of this war, Kiev has depended on the US not just for weapons, but also for tactical support. Intelligence sharing was instrumental on this front. But now the US has blocked all intelligence sharing except for what Ukraine's forces need for survival. That's all that they're giving. In the past, their support was pretty wide in scope. A key part of the agreement, or the arrangement rather, was an early warning system. It shielded Ukraine from aerial attacks, including long-range missile and drone attacks from Russia. Ukraine also relied on American intelligence for counterattacks, for them to identify targets inside Russia, especially for long-range strikes. Weapons like the HIMARS depended on this data. HIMARS is a light multiple rocket launcher. Ukraine used this to strike deep inside Russia. Now with the US pulling the support, Kiev could struggle to identify Russian targets. And this has been a long-standing demand from Russia. The Kremlin has repeatedly insisted on this, for an end to foreign assistance that puts Russian territory at risk. So basically, even without a peace deal, President Donald Trump has given Moscow what it wanted. And Ukraine's chances of a comeback are increasingly looking grim.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs, and that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model, and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.